cuts. All right, Paul Ryan's future in focus. He will officially become the 54th Speaker of the House on Sunday. He's also the youngest to hold the gavel in over 140 years. But in his 17 years in Congress, he's really had an impressive resume, having served as chairman of two of the most powerful committees in the House. So here's the question, what's he going to do first? That's what everyone wants to know. He's got grand plans. We know this. He wants to overhaul the tax code, slash federal spending, rewrite social contracts for Medicare and for Social Security. He's also an outspoken supporter of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I am joined right now by Richard Goodstein, a Democratic strategist and an associate at Goodstein and Associates. I've also got former Deputy Assistant to George W. Bush and a Republican strategist, Brad Blakeman. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. Richard, let me start with you. On the Democratic side, it seems that some Democrats are actually, encouraged by Paul Ryan as the next speaker. Are we going to actually see bipartisanship?
God forbid, huh? Well, look, he did cut that deal with Patty Murray, and I think people are encouraged. That was very civil and very constructive in terms of the country's finances. And everything he said yesterday about regular order, about committee chairs calling the shots, about everybody kind of from the ground up having a say in the matter, that's all great. You know what, though? John Boehner said exactly the same thing when he came in, and now there's this sense of turning the page and so forth. So, look, I would say people wish Paul Ryan well across the board. But all those things you ticked off that he has in mind to do are going to have to wait until he's got 60 votes in the Senate and a Republican in the White House, because the Ryan budget was actually kind of toxic publicly, not among House Republicans, but certainly in the broad public. So I think those ideas are probably not going to be something he's going to lead with. He doesn't want to split his conference sooner than he has to. Okay, so Brad, from a Republican standpoint, what should he, from a strategic standpoint for the party, for the House GOP, what do you think that he should tackle first? What's the most realistic thing for him to tackle first so he doesn't lose his mojo?
Well, right now, I think he's got the blessing of a united caucus. He's got a short honeymoon period, as we've seen by the kind words of the Democrats. So he has a short window to establish his own reputation as Speaker. And I think one of the easiest things to tackle now that the budget ceiling has been put off to 2017 is tackling entitlements and making sure that we're bringing order to chaos in Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security, and also giving confidence to those people in need. And if he can do that with bipartisan help, he's well on his way to establishing himself as a transformational speaker. Because of his age, because of his bona fides in actual policy, I think if anybody can do it, he can. Okay, I want to move on to, because a couple of the big political stories I want to get to, and I want to go over to Marco Rubio. Harry Reid basically is saying that he thinks that Marco Rubio, who's of course running for president, should resign. Richard, does Harry Reid have a point?
I think Jeb Bush made that point in the debate. I don't think, from the Democrat standpoint, having Harry Reid pile on kind of helps that. If anything, it gives Marco Rubio even more kind of ammunition to stiff arm this. Look, Jeb Bush is not going to go down without a fight. Remember what his brother did against John McCain in the South Carolina primary, all the things he dredged up in the year 2000. Kevin McCarthy was undone partly because a colleague of his said, let's not promote somebody to Speaker unless we know if there's any skeletons in his closet. Well, if Marco Rubio has any, I predict we're going to hear about them from Jeb Bush. So, we'll see. And if he doesn't and he's clean, great. But if Jeb Bush has anything on him, we're going to know about that pretty soon. Brad,
let's stay on Jeb Bush here for a second. What do you make of these leaked documents from the Bush campaign, this event where they basically met with donors and really tried to assure them that things are okay? It kind of came out that it looks like he's really going to start to play dirty with Marco Rubio. And again, these are leaked documents that we've all had a chance to look at today. And it looks like the Bush campaign is about to start fighting unfair.
Surprise, surprise. This is politics. It's not surprising that leaked documents come out. And by the way, Harry Reid is a hypocrite. Where was he when Senator Hillary Clinton and Senator Barack Obama were running for president? Did he call for their resignation? No, he did not.